October 29th, 2004. That was the date the horror landscape changed forever when Saw hit the big screen. This was a low budget film centered around two men chained up in a dirty, disgusting bathroom. Their survival, and the survival of their loved ones, depends on their ability to complete the game they're being forced to play. From the ever-rising tension to introductions of new players, all capped off with a gut-wrenching scene involving a hacksaw and a shocking twist reveal, Saw made its mark with fans and critics alike. On a budget of just over $1 million, the film grossed over $104 million at the box office. Saw was a massive hit, and for the next 6 years in a row, sequels would arrive in theaters with more blood, more traps, more games, and more victims. Saw was a phenomenon. And with any property that's making a ton of money in one lane, why not see if it can make a ton of money in another lane? Today we're looking at Saw, the video game. Dude, from the blood and gore to the crazy situations involving death traps and consequences, twists and turns, and shocking reveals around every corner, this had amazing video game written all over it. But unfortunately, this game sucks.
I have to do this! I have to do this! I have to do this!
Jigsaw's favorite catchphrase is,
I want to play a game.
well, after this experience, I want to play a better game. Today we'll go into where this game came from, what went wrong, how it could have been better, and much more. I'm not kidding at all when I say publisher Konami were positioning this as their next Silent Hill, as crazy as that sounds. This is the final episode of the 3rd season, so for the last time this year I say, welcome to Scream Sequence, razor sharp reviews of your favorite creepy classics. Every video here on 616 Entertainment is made possible by my supporters over on Patreon. If you enjoyed the show here today, consider signing up. You'll get early access, exclusive videos and podcasts, and more. Pro Wrestling Tees has the merch. As always, thank you for watching. Right off the bat, let me ask you something. When you hear the name Saw, what's the first thing you think of? Maybe Billy the Puppet? Yeah, this guy's name is not Jigsaw. His name is Billy. That's a fair first pick. Maybe you think of the phrase, I want to play a game. Also fair. But if we narrow it down to sounds, it's gotta be the iconic theme song, right? This was probably the first sign of exactly the type of experience that we were in for here. The Saw theme song is not featured in this game whatsoever. It's not playing at the main menu, it doesn't drop during key moments in gameplay, it doesn't even come on at the very end. You know, imagine making a Halloween game without the John Carpenter theme song. What are you doing? It's like the 8 and 16-bit days all over again. Remember when games like Terminator and Back to the Future would come out and the theme songs never seemed to make the trek from big screen to gray cartridge? So annoying. And in that same sort of vein, who played Detective Tapp in the first movie? Danny Glover, right? Hell yeah it was. I love Danny Glover. This may come as a shock to you, but Detective David Tapp in Saw the video game is not played by Danny Glover. This isn't his voice.
Where are you, Jigsaw? I won't play your game. I won't!
Nor is this his appearance. This could be anybody, you know? Certainly doesn't look like Danny Glover. To be specific though, this voice is coming from Earl Alexander, who did some work for The Suffering, a game I covered earlier this season. How about it? So who did these things? Who didn't give us the theme song? Who couldn't nail down Danny Glover? Who was responsible for this many oversights? Who brought Saw, the video game, to life? Much like the twisted and tangled barbed wire many of Jigsaw's victims have been caught in over the years, this simple question does not come with a simple answer. It's actually quite a mess to parse through, so strap in. Maybe you've heard of Zombie Studios. Maybe you haven't. You probably haven't, if we're just being honest. Zombie Studios brought us classics like Spec Ops, Rangers Lead the Way, Disney's Atlantis, and Blackwater, the Xbox 360 Kinect title. With Blackwater and Blacklight, Zombies' history gets weirder than just video games for store shelves, as this team were actively developing software and technology for the US military. And even if you did know who Zombie Studios was, you haven't heard of them recently because they went out of business over 10 years ago. How you doing? We'll touch more on the behind-the-scenes stuff in a little bit. We have to, we gotta dig into the gameplay. You know, how this thing plays, how it runs, how it feels. And I don't think that this is like a shocking reveal. I don't have to treat this like I'm pulling the curtain down. It's terrible. We'll talk story and stuff in a minute. Can we just talk gameplay? Can we do that? Because that's the biggest problem here. Gameplay is what makes or breaks any video game. Any video game. And the gameplay experience here just doesn't cut it. Get it? Cut it? Like a saw? Never mind. The opening moments have our main character, Detective David, not Danny Glover, Tapp, locked in one of the classic traps. It's the reverse bear trap. This is that gimmick that'll tear the top of your head off backwards. It's awesome. Escaping this deal is direction and timing based. We use the sticks and the buttons to unlock the different contraptions. It's not a bad way to get moving. This looks and feels like the movies, and that's huge, right? There are other players in this, whatever this dirty, decrepit building is. We'll talk more about that later. They're competing in their own games. Many of their goals including either killing us or funneling us into the next trap, which is just great for our situation. We do get to fight these other guys, and oh, Jesus Christ. This shit is unacceptable.
Oh. Oh. One of us is going down. You're the reason I'm here. Take it.
I'm showing you these things instead of explaining them in detail because, I mean, what you see is what you get. It's terrible. There's a whole collection of different weapons for us to use, from bats to bats with nails in them to steel pipes, all of which are exactly the same. None of them are any stronger or weaker than the others, so it doesn't really matter at all whether you pick up a crutch or a table lamp. Around the halfway point of the game, we get our first gun, and here, one shot kills any enemy, no matter who it is, no matter how far away you are. And I actually appreciate this, because these are just people. They're maniacs. They're not monsters. This isn't The Suffering, this is Saw. And one bullet probably would be enough to seal the deal. But I should mention that I've never missed a shot in this game, ever. Even when my crosshair is nowhere near the enemy, they wind up falling down dead. That's strange.
I need that key! Let's make you're the reason.
And speaking of falling down dead, holy shit, man. You can't touch anything in this game. There are multiple sections with steam blowing out of pipes. Steam is dangerous, right? You wouldn't want to come into contact with this. It would hurt, big time. But do I really need to die instantly if I even walk near it? Are you kidding me? Electrified water is a major no-no, right? That's obviously a death sentence. You don't want to go near it. But sometimes you don't even have to touch it for it to kill you. And I mentioned obstacles. Let's talk about the obstacles in our way. In Resident Evil, our obstacles are often locked doors. We need to go find specific keys to get these things open. In Silent Hill, it can be anything from a mannequin hand that we have to melt with acid, or a rubber ball to redirect flowing water, whatever. In Saw, the video game, we have dirty toilets, likely filled with old piss and shit, as well as used syringes from unknown drug addicts. Have you ever heard of a needle in a haystack? I guess this is a key in a needle shitter. But all jokes aside, this is cool, right? It's about as Saw as it gets. And it's kind of cool the second time, too. But the third time, the 4th, 5th, 6th, 7th, 8th, 9th time we're reaching into one of these syringe toilets, it's like, okay, I get it. Finding a coupler to pop into an electrical box and rerouting the power to create an uninterrupted current is fun. I like the sights and sounds. The colors changing from red to green when you line things up the right way is satisfying, as are the pops and clicks of turning the mechanisms. I enjoyed this the first time I did it. And, kind of the second time, maybe the third. But the 4th, 5th, 7th, 10th, 13th time, fucking jeez-o-loo, man. I get it. I get it! The solutions to puzzles are oftentimes right next to the puzzle itself. You'll come to a tabletop that requires gears to operate, and it's like, okay, I guess I have to go find a gear. Oh, there it is. 6 feet away from where it's supposed to go. What a mystery. Now the shotgun tripwires, these are awesome. Stepping through one of these lines is an instant death. And it's not uncommon to get caught by one of these, you get sent back to the last checkpoint, and now you're on a roll because you remember exactly what it is you're supposed to do and where you're supposed to go. And then that happens because you were moving so confidently that you forgot why you got sent back in the first place. That's fun. That I enjoy. And the fact that we can disarm these traps and keep the materials to rearm them when an enemy is approaching, brilliant. There are some really cool ideas here. The shotgun traps are fantastic. And luring a lurking jerk into one of them and his brains get blown out, it's extremely satisfying. The needle toilets and the power boxes, again, the first time we come to them, they're fun. It's very tense. It's a moment of, oh shit, oh shit, oh shit, because you don't know if you're going to be able to pull it off. But once we run into these things for the 9th and 10th time, it's beyond old. You can't keep doing the same thing over and over, expecting it to keep that same feel. And that's what happened here. And I've said all of this before even getting into the traps and the victims. Okay, here's where we can touch on the story a little bit. Detective David Tapp, who was one of the featured characters in the first movie. He got his throat slit by Jigsaw and his partner's head was blown off, all basically due to not following standard police procedure. Tapp is still obsessed with this case. He's not a cop anymore. His obsession ate him alive and ruined his life. Well, he's right back in the thick of it here with the video game. Tapp was incapacitated, there's a key placed inside his body, and everyone else in this place needs that key in order to earn their escape. This place that I mentioned is an abandoned mental institution, or insane asylum, call it whatever you want. We can find case files and patient notes all over the place, none of which really make any difference because they don't matter to the story and you'll never meet any of these people, but I guess it is an attempt at world building. That's fine. So we're locked inside this asylum and we have to play Jigsaw's games if we want to earn our freedom. There are a handful of victims caught in Jigsaw's traps and it's up to us to free them. Up first is Amanda Young, who fans of the film will recognize. Or, they'll recognize the name at least, because much like Danny Glover's Detective Tapp, Shawnee Smith's face and voice are not here in the video game. Lending her voice to Amanda Young, though, is Jen Taylor, who you absolutely know very well. Hall of Famer, no doubt. So what's Amanda Young's deal? Well, she's trapped in this gimmick with IVs tapped straight into her veins. It's on us to join her in this predicament, and honestly, I had no idea what the fuck it was they wanted me to do here. I don't feel it was explained very well, but the goal is to drop more blue than red. Blue is good, red is bad, I guess. A lack of clear explanation is a common theme in Saw, the video game, almost as common as poor frame rate and horrendous screen tearing. Up next is Jennings Foster, a character not from the movies but created specifically for this game, though his trap is pulled from the movies, Saw 5 to be exact. You gotta love a good old swinging blade contraption, right? We are tasked with arranging gears in the correct configuration to stop the blade. Unlike the dropping of the pills in Amanda's trap, a mechanic not seen throughout the rest of the game, we're doing gear puzzles like this all over the place, so this doesn't really feel all that special.
Christ, get away from me, Tapp! You self-righteous son of a bitch!
Easy, Jennings. You're just reacting to the shock. Just calm down.
You fuck! You fucker! You're the reason he picked me! You!
Me? You killed a man. You a murderer.
He was homeless! He didn't have a family! He meant nothing to anyone!
What about the innocent man you put in prison? What about his family?
But he didn't have to come to that. I told you just walk away. But no. You had to get your arrest. You put me in a corner, Tapp. I just did what I had to do.
What you had to do? Destroy 2 people to protect your way of life?
At least I have something to protect. You know what, Tapp? We're all here because of you. So save me the preaching, alright? I'm not dying, so you can catch the boogeyman. You deserve each other.
Victim number 3 is Melissa Singh, the widow of our fallen partner from the first movie. She's locked up in this... You know what? Why am I explaining all of these when I can let the man himself take over?
Hello, Melissa. It's time to wake up and see what your life has become. You understood the risks of marrying an officer of the law. When he was killed, you let your vengeance for Detective Tapp consume you. Your life crumbled and you neglected your son. I now offer you a gift, a chance to break through the numbness and taste the life you buried with your husband. Will you forgive Detective Tapp, or is your hatred too great to be satiated? You're in what might be called an Iron Maiden. Move the metal cubes to the symbols and avoid the strikes. After 6 strikes, the device will snap shut and this place will be your doom.
That's better. This time we don't have turning gears. We've got a magnetic sliding board thing. In just a few moves, Melissa is freed. Oswald McGillicuddy is up next, and he's tied down to this torture chair that's gonna bend his bones until they break. Oswald is also not from the movies. He's original to this game. He's a journalist who created this Fugazi storyline about Detective Tapp actually being the Jigsaw killer. He ran with this angle despite having no proof or any real evidence at all. He was just consumed by rage because Tapp wouldn't act as a source for his bullshit articles, and now he's here to be saved by the guy who he has spent his entire career for the last several years burying to the public. How do you like that? And we do save him. How? By doing 3 goddamn power box puzzles in a row on the clock, each box bigger and more complicated than the last. And as you know, this is not a unique mechanic. These things are all over the entirety of the game, robbing this moment of any real surprise or reward. This disappointment is compounded by the fact that we do all of this. We save Oswald, and then he's immediately killed by something we can't control in a cutscene.
You go that way, I'll look in here.
And this happens over and over. If victims aren't killed, they're kidnapped or separated from us within 90 seconds of saving them. This takes all of our hard work and completely deflates it. Now, I don't know how many of you have seen the Saw movies. Maybe you've seen one or two of them. Maybe you've seen them all. I don't know. The crux of the Saw traps, the fun of these situations is built around the tension. Are these people going to survive? Will they escape safely? Or will they be brutally murdered? Sometimes we're cheering for their survival, other times we can't wait for the clock to run out. Broken bones, severed arteries, torn off limbs, beheadings, impalements, injections, all of these things, you name it, Saw has it. The clock is ticking, and the source of the excitement is the tension centered around whether the character in question will live or die. That is not how the video game works. There is no chance that the victims won't make it. Sure, we can run out of time and they'll die, and then guess what happens? We go back to the start of the trap and we try again. If we fail again, guess what happens? We try again. This goes over and over until we get it right. The victims must survive in order to progress the story. Doesn't that completely gut the weight of the situation? Doesn't that take all of the tension out of it? I mean, who cares if I screw up? Who cares if the character dies? I'm just gonna get another shot. So who gives a shit? Imagine if each character's trap was a fork in the road. Imagine if all of our successes and failures added up and painted the roadmap for our ending. Isn't that kind of what the Saw movies are? Picture playing Life is Strange or Until Dawn, even something like Baldur's Gate 3. Games where characters have major turning points, where they might live or die. Picture playing those games and you botch a spot and they go, game over, try again. No, dude, I screwed up. I should face the consequences of my actions, the weight of my failures. It should shape the outcome of my story. Again, that's what Saw is. Well, you know, that's what the movies are. That's not what the video game is. And that's a problem. That's a huge, huge problem. We still have two endings here, by the way, despite the fact that there's only one linear path to get here. Yeah, if there was any question over whether or not our actions were meaningless, there you go. You're going to wind up here with both options open to you, no matter what. So we get to the end and we're presented with two doors. One grants us freedom, the other grants us the truth. Now, the truth door reveals the truth, I guess. And in this ending, it's revealed that Pighead has been Melissa the entire time. Remember Melissa, the widow of our former partner who died? Yeah, Pighead is Melissa. She did her job. She led us through the entirety of our game, and then she dies anyway, killed in cold blood, while Billy laughs and he laughs. Detective Tapp can't handle this final twist. He psychologically breaks, and that's when we get another twist. Tapp's psychological break actually occurred quite a while ago. We haven't been trapped in an abandoned insane asylum. We are literally just a patient. We have been the whole time. I mean, I guess. I don't know. It's not explained. You're seeing the same images I am. That's what I take from it. The freedom door is considered the good ending, I guess. Tapp's obsession with the case is, like, you know, it's really bad. And he blows his brains out. That's it. Those are our options. That's the story of Saw, the video game. It genuinely bothers me how badly they fucked this up. A Saw video game could have been so cool, man. Branching paths, combat that actually works, choices that carry the weight of the story along the way. I don't think I'm asking for much. I touched on this earlier, so I'll expound on it now. Konami stepped in to snag the publishing rights to this game shortly before it released. They weren't originally going to act as publisher. There was another group lined up that I'll get to in a second. But yeah, Konami, the home of Castlevania, Metal Gear, Silent Hill, and more, they grabbed the rights to get in on the action. Konami were positioning Saw the video game to stand side by side with Silent Hill as their new horror tentpole for the company. Not a joke. They saw big money here. They saw a future for... Well, I mean, it sounds weird to say they saw a future for Saw, but I don't know how else to word it. From an outsider's perspective, I get it. These movies were killing. They were releasing literally every year. Not only is that unbelievably consistent, it's extremely impressive in its own right. Not to mention, most of these films were being made for less than $10 million, while drawing in excess of $100 million. I would want to be involved with that too. You're telling me I can publish video games for Saw? Absolutely. Sign me up. This IP is printing money. That's the outsider's perspective. And that's not what Konami had. Konami had the insider's perspective. By the time they picked up the publishing rights, this game was practically done. I would say it's safe to assume that they did not care whether or not the game was any good. I mean, I'm scoffing at this standing next to Silent Hill, but we have to remember that this was 2009. The most recent title to hit store shelves from that franchise was Silent Hill Homecoming, which wasn't great. Shattered Memories and Downpour were on their way, meaning that this was a very hit or miss era of Silent Hill. An era that would be followed by 10 years of nothing until Konami got off their stupid fucking asses and got back to work on this thing. Saw was poised to come in and be successful. Absolutely. Even if this first game wasn't any good, Konami could still count on it to sell really well. It's Saw, right? And then they would do a sequel and it would be better and it would sell even bigger. Yeah, that'll be great. Except it wasn't. And pump the brakes. It sounds like I'm bringing things to a close, but I'm not. Not yet. There's more here. I mentioned a little bit ago that Konami were not always in line as publisher. That's right. At one point, Brash Entertainment were tapped for the gig. This was the publisher who brought you classics like Alvin and the Chipmunks, Jumper, and other licensed bullshit, if we're just being honest. Hey, I guess this Saw game was perfect for them. Side note, you know what really chaps my ass? Brash Entertainment, before they went out of business, they were on board to publish a game developed by a team called Factor 5. This top secret game was codenamed Blue Steel behind closed doors. What you're seeing right now is the internal trailer put together for the game, which would have officially been titled Superman. Oh boy. I've paid compliments to this game. I've levied insults at this game. Would you believe I've got more to say? And that's both on the production front and gameplay wise. So let's pull up our sleeves and go reaching back into this needle toilet. This game is dark. And not just from a content standpoint, but from a lighting standpoint. You know this. You've been seeing the gameplay footage on screen this entire time. There are points where you can't see at all without the aid of a tool. And we've got several different tools at our disposal. The lighter offers a constant orange glow all around the character. The flashlight shines a cone of light forward. And the camera, oh man, the camera can only be used once every 2 seconds. It offers 1 frame of light, which freezes in place. This offers next to no help at all. I find it more frustrating than helpful. If you're anything like me, you'll pick the camera up once out of curiosity, you'll regret it the entire time you're holding it, and you'll switch back to the lighter as soon as possible. But the lighter's annoying too, with tap arbitrarily extinguishing the flame without you pressing the button to do so. Pressing the button to take the lighter back out then puts the lighter away, as if the lighter was still equipped, though it wasn't. Oh god. Do you know what we call that? We call it bad game design. Hulk smashing through a wall, though, that's good game design. Listen to how great this sounds. And on the topic of sounding good, I've gone over how many characters are not played by the actor from the movie, but I haven't given flowers to the one man who did show up. That one man was the man, Tobin Bell, the Jigsaw Killer.
Hello, Oswald. Your newspaper has been the primary source of information about my message. Why I do what I do. But your motivations are selfish. You spread my message, but pervert it for your own personal glory. You twisted your words to implicate Detective Tab, to make the public suspect him to be me. The device you are strapped to will twist until your body is broken. To stop the device, you must complete the electrical circuit panel. If you do not complete the circuit in time, words will not be able to describe your agony.
Shout out to Tobin Bell, man. A horror icon. And this game takes place between Saw and Saw 2, so at this point the Jigsaw Killer was still alive. Not that they stopped using his voice after the character's death or anything, but still. This was still the man, flesh and blood. And how about it, Tobin Bell would reprise his role once again in the sequel, Saw 2 Flesh and Blood, which I've never played, so I'm not going to pass judgment on it. I've passed my judgment on this first entry, Saw the video game. I did it today, and I did it all the way back in 2009, when I earned the Platinum Trophy in this fucking miserable game. Why did I do it? Oh man, I don't know. I was young. I was stupid. I saw an attainable Platinum Trophy on the PS3, and this was at a time where plats were not easy to pop, so I went for it. I came into this video with an open mind. I knew I didn't like this game. I have pretty clear and vivid memories of this being quite bad and quite broken, but I was ready and willing to find out that the reason I disliked this game so much is because I was too caught up in the Platinum Trophy chase. But this time, I wasn't bogged down by trophies. I have them all, so there was no chase. This time I can confirm it's just quite bad. It's really bad, actually. And that's a goddamn shame, because it didn't need to be. Saw the video game had story input from series co-creator James Wan. Wan allegedly also helped with some of the traps included in this game. Online multiplayer was promised for this thing prior to release, and obviously that was pulled out before it hit store shelves. Could this have helped in the long run? No, I wouldn't say so, because the gameplay is terrible either way. Adding more cooks to an already filthy and dysfunctional kitchen doesn't sound like a good time to me. I don't mean to shock or surprise you so deep into the video, so either take a seat or brace yourself, but the reviews for this title were not particularly positive. From what I can gather, Saw the video game sold about 500,000 copies at retail, likely far below publisher Konami's expectations. I truly feel as though this was one of the biggest missed opportunities in licensed video game history. I would say a Saw game could kill in 2025, but with the deluge of asymmetrical multiplayer horror games flooding the space these days, it might genuinely be too late. So consider this a hats off to what could have been. Or a heads off, right? Arms off, foots off. I don't know, whatever they do in the Saw movies.
This is what happens to those who fail their test, who make the wrong choice. You cannot save this man, but you can save yourselves. Find the combination to open his cage and reroute the power back to the doors. But do so quickly. When he touches the water, you will both share his fate.
Oh, So there it is. Saw the video game closes out Scream Sequence 3. Now I extended this season a little bit. Usually, you know, I just run through October, but I was doing all video games this year and I kind of just felt like doing a bonus. So how about it? I hope you enjoyed it. Obviously, there are hundreds of games I wasn't able to cover this year, one of which I originally announced for this season, that being the Nightmare on Elm Street video game. But don't worry, coverage on that will find its home in the history of A Nightmare on Elm Street, which I will be getting back to very, very soon. I haven't done any Let's Play style content at all this year. It's been exclusively scripted, in-depth work, but I know some of you are missing the annual Grand Fantasy Rumble and King of the Ring Extreme tournaments, so I think over the next couple weeks we can settle down with some of that stuff. What do you say? Patreon.com/616entertainment is where you can go to get the uncensored versions of all of my videos. I do Q&A podcasts over there where I take questions from you guys. GM Showdown 3 is going to be over there, as well as YouTube channel memberships. We are deep into production on that now, so stay tuned. You guys make all of this possible, so thank you very much for your support. And if you didn't grab a copy of my book, Triangle X Squared Circle, the Wrestling Video Game Compendium, you can still get a digital copy right now. The link is in the description. Until next time, I hope you've had a wonderful Scream sequence. Hope you've had a fantastic Halloween season. Thank you for watching, and I will see you soon.